In the early 1970s, the Perron family decided to move into a picturesque farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. Little did they know that lying beneath that charming exterior lay a history soaked in malevolence and tragedy. Local legends spoke of a woman named Bathsheba Sherman, rumored to be involved in dark ritual and accused of practicing witchcraft. Because what a crime that is. Her presence would become a focal point of the haunting. Does this sound familiar? Well, it should, because this was the basis for the 2013 film, The Conjuring. But let's go into the true story of the haunting beneath the film. The parents, a seemingly ordinary family, found themselves dealing with the paranormal almost immediately after moving in. Strange noises echoed through the property, and there was this pervasive feeling of dread all the time. The family often said they would literally smell the stench of dead, rotting meat all the time. Carolyn Perron, the family matriarch, was seemingly getting the worst of the haunting. And as things escalated, it seemed that the malevolent spirit of Bathsheba manifested itself, tormenting the Perron family with nightmarish visions, violent outbursts, and even physical harm. But not only that, the daughters of the family saw all kinds of spirits, some that didn't seem malevolent at all, and some that seemed outright dangerous, like the spirit of Bathsheba. Bathsheba's vengeful spirit seemed determined to claim the home for her own. It was even said by the eldest Perron daughter that it seemed like Bathsheba was in competition with Carolyn, that she was the matriarch, living or not. Carolyn, fed up with the haunting, reached out to paranormal researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren. I have some thoughts about Ed and Lorraine Warren, and I would like to do a dedicated video to them eventually, but I am going to be covering some of their cases because they are some of the most well-known documented cases of paranormal activity. But I would like to say that I do not come at these through the lens of Christianity like most people do. So my perspective may be a touch different, being a pagan, you know? Now, Ed and Lorraine delved into the farmhouse's creepy history, and they uncovered a creepy pattern of malevolence and tragedy. At one point, Ed and Lorraine said that this haunting was so out of control that it was like they were biting off way more than they could chew. Now, in the movie The Conjuring, there is a whole scene where we see Ed doing an exorcism on Carolyn. But in real life, Ed and Lorraine refused to do an exorcism because in the Catholic Church, exorcisms can only be done by a Catholic priest, and though a renowned demonologist, Ed Warren was not a Catholic priest. And at this time in the 70s, the economy was terrible. We were reeling from the war in Vietnam and Nixon being a terrible person. So there was record inflation, and the Perron family had invested all of their money into this farmhouse, thinking this would be the place that they would raise their children and retire and be forever. So it wasn't as simple as just packing up and leaving. In fact, the Perron family ended up having to stay at this house until 1980. But they did say that once they left the property, they never experienced anything like this ever again. So apparently there are things that happened to this house that the parents have never even told anybody and just refused to even speak about, which is pretty insane considering they were actually consultants on The Conjuring to make sure that their story got told as truthfully as it could. And they did have to cut a lot of things because they thought at the time that it was way too violent and way too intense for audiences in the country. Now, after the parents left the house, another man had moved in and apparently got spooked so hard he ran off the property, leaving his car and all of his belongings. So there's that. But people who have owned the house recently have reported not really experiencing anything. So what's the truth? There have been tons of investigations into the Conjuring house and a few on YouTube that I actually do recommend, and I will leave in the caption below if you want to go check out more about the Conjuring haunting in Rhode Island. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think this house was really haunted? And also let me know what you think about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Do you think they're legit or were they scammers? I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.